This particular intersection is our cell. Now when you have more than one cell, we call it a range. Okay, more than one cell, we call it a range. So we have a cell here. If we have this cell, this selected cell is the active cell, but if we select more than one of these, then we have what? A range. So if we click on it and drag, we will see that we select multiple cells. Now these multiple cells we've selected is called what? A range. Okay, so when we select multiple cells like this, we have what we call a range. Now the range that we have here, we can actually have a range that span over a larger area, not just only a row. Okay, so this is actually a range. Now how do we determine the size of this range, or the name of this range, or how we get this range? Now you can see that the range starts from what? A cell what? A1, and then ends here in what? Cell what? E what? 1, and then it spans down to what? Cell what? A17, and what? Ends at what? E17. Now because it's taking this to here, a range will usually, when you talk about number line and you want to show the range between two values on the number line, you say what? From 1 to what? 2, isn't it? So when it comes to Excel and you want to show a range, yes, Celestina, yeah, you can talk.
It was by mistake.
You say?
It was by mistake.
What is, I don't know if I'm the one that can hear you, but can you come again?
I said it was by mistake.
Oh, it was by mistake. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. All right, okay. So we can see that when you talk about a number line, I don't even want to do this, but let me try and see if I can do that for you guys. Just give me a minute. Let me connect something to write for you guys. Okay. What did I just? Okay, I see. I thought I was the one sharing my screen. All right, give me a minute. I'm coming. Let me see if I can use my writing pad. Just a minute. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm coming. I just want to switch some stuff to different boards so that I can. Alright. Where's this up? Alright, good. Okay. Alright. Okay. So where is it? Paint. Alright. I think I should stop this. I'll work on it later. Just give me a minute. Benedict. Yeah. Now they want talk something, but they teach right now. I mean, you say you they work on the they use the authorization something. So say we don't go they use the ID something, right? They use, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. No problem. You can check the. I think the auth service have done that. So if you want, you can use that as a reference too. All right. No problem. I'm actually not doing a search. So you do. No problem. Okay, great. Paint is up. trying to get rid of this. Okay. All right. So what I was explaining is that all right, this thing is turned upside down. That's not. All right. Okay. So what I was explaining was that you see we have the cell to be this. Don't mind my drawing, okay? We have this. All right. This is what we have. Now, if you check on the cell, we had a range that is something like this, okay? Then I was saying that on a number line, if we have a number line like this, and we say here is 1, here is 2, here is 3, and here is 4. If I say you should get the range between, if I say you should get a range between, to get a range between 2 and then 4, can anyone get that for me? 2 and 4, a range between 2 and 4. What would you write? You say what? 2 to 4, isn't it? This will be the range. So if this is our cell, and here is cell, let's say A1, let's say this column is A, and here is 1, here is 2, here is 3, right? And here is B, here is C, here is D, right? So this particular side, let's say this is the range we want to select. Okay? This first one is what? A what? 1. This last one is what? B what? 2. Right? Now, if we are tracing this particular part downwards, we will get to this particular point, isn't it? And if we are tracing this particular part downwards, we will get to this particular end. Now, if I decide to move this from here and put it somewhere, C what? 3, meaning that we will be covering from here to this part, and then this one to cover from here to this part, if we are taking those rules. But when we talk about what? The range where we want to get all these. When we want to decide that we want to get the range from here to here, means that we want to cover this whole space. Ikia, can you please mute yourself? If you don't want to join the class, you can actually leave, okay? Hello, you guys, sorry. You guys should have told me that I'm not actually speaking, because I thought I was speaking and then you guys could hear me. I realized I'm muted. Alright. Sorry about that. Let me undo this and then explain what I'm talking about. Alright. Ikia, thanks. I actually thought you were talking and then I was also teaching. So I was like, why? Alright. Great. Sorry guys. Sorry. Please do well to interact. That's why I was like, you guys should keep your mouth. Those that are at places that there are no noise, you can keep your mics open so that you can actually ask questions or talk, so that I can know that you guys are. No problem. Because if you are mute and I'm doing something and you guys don't even understand or even not know, because right now I was teaching you. By the time you have realized I've finished and I've gone back to Excel. All right. So let me reiterate what I'm talking about. All right. So in here, we are saying that when we talk about range, that means we are starting from a particular point to another point, right? So for example, brush. Okay. All right. So for example, if I say, let's say this is a number line. Oh, why is that happening? All right, great. It has been selected now. So if this is a number line, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? If I say a range, it simply means from one point, let's say here, to probably 5. And this range would cover what? The distance from what? 2 to 5, okay? Now in Excel, when we say a range, okay, we simply mean that what it simply means is that when we start from one cell, those that have just joined, could you please mute? All right. All right. So if we know that, Gabriella, please can you mute? Because I keep muting you and it's unmute. So if it's by mistake, please mute. All right. There was some background noise that was coming from your side, so that's why I said you should mute. All right. Okay. So we have, if we say 2 to 5 is a range, that means that this covers the distance that we are talking about, right? Now when we come to Excel, if here is cell A1, right, and we want to get the values from here to here, that means that the range will be what? Cell A1 to what? Cell what? D what? 3. D1, I said D3. Because from here to here, that means that if I do cell A1 to cell what? D1, I am talking about the space. That is the range I'm looking at. Please, is there anyone here that doesn't understand what I just did? Like this. If I write cell A1, column cell D1, is there anyone here that doesn't understand? So that I'll explain it again. If everyone understands, then I move forward. Okay, so everyone understands, right? Now, if I want to select, let's say up to this place, I want to get this particular boundary box, okay, from here to here, then up here, this way. If I want to get this part, I know that it's not linear. So in that case, if I get cell A1, and I want to get the remaining ones, then what you would do when you have to get a shape of this form, maybe a square or a rectangle, when you are selecting the range, the area you want to cover, the first part you will pass, which is this is where you are starting from, should be the first value, A1, to where? Now I know if I move to here, I'll get to D. But if I'm coming to end here, then that means I'll get to column what? C. Right? But if I move only here to here, that will be what? Column C1. So C1. But that will give me only here. But I don't want to stop there. I want to move downwards to this part. So if I know that C1 gives me only here, then if I move to what? C something. What is it? C what? Here is 3. So if I move to C3, means that I will be getting from here to here. Then from there, I'm moving down to C3. Now if I move to C3, means that if I say I'm starting from here and I moved up to here, then straight to C3, then that means that this one also moved this way and then move back to what? A1. And that will give me what? My range that I'm selecting. So if we go back to Excel and we want to select a range like this, let's say I want to select a range from what? C2 to, let's say, a square to what? Maybe G what? 13. Then I'll come to C2. C2 is the first one. Then I'll say what? From C2, I want to move all the way to G what? 13. And this would be represented as what? C2 to what? G what? 13. So anytime you want to select an area like this, that is what you pass in to that particular cell. And that is what? Your range. So if we want to get, let's say we had numbers here, and we want to sum the numbers in there, then we can pass what? The range to do that. Okay? Alright. So let's get back to our slide and then take it from there. Okay? Great. So that's just what we mean by range. Okay? Now spreadsheets are widely used in research industry where we use it to store value. So as you guys are working in your various stations, as what? Midwives, as nurses, as engineers, laboratory technicians, you always want to store data. So you can use Excel to store your data. Isiama, can you please mute a little bit for me? Okay. Now, Excel can be used in what? Research areas, industry, business locations, to store data, manipulate data. When you hear manipulate data, what we simply mean is that you can change the data that you've stored. So for example, if I store data and I want to update the data or make corrections to the data, then I can use this. Okay, then you can use it to compare data, plan and focus data. That one comes in when we talk about analysis and stuff like that, which you guys are not doing a lot of analysis, but you are learning how to use Excel effectively. Now below are some of the major areas where you can use Excel. Accounting field, right? Finance, to calculate money, to store information about transactions and things like that. Then we can talk about scientific environment. Mathematical equations can be used in here in Excel. You can do mean, standard deviation, do calculations, map things inside Excel. So you can look at those things at your own time. Okay. Then we have graphical representations. We can insert charts. We can insert pie charts, histogram, line charts, bar charts, and all those stuff. We did that, right? So this is just a read up. Then Forest Bruce use this to make conventions. I can write an equation such that if the dollar is always 10 cedis, the equation would automatically, or the function would automatically convert the 10 cedis to 100 cedis. The equivalence in dollars, right? So if a dollar is, let's say 12 point something or 11 point something or 10 point something, and I want to convert that to cedis, then I can write an equation such that anytime the dollar value changes, then the equivalent cedis values will also change. Okay, so they use it in those areas. Okay. Then database management. Some people use Excel to manage their database. Okay, so like I was giving an example, if you are working as a midwife, or you are working as a nurse, or you are working as a lab technician somewhere, and there is no software there that can store information for you, you can use Excel to create your own database where you can store the patient's name, their age, their location. Then you can also create another one to store the treatment or the illness you've diagnosed for them. Then you can use that to make your own conclusion of the number of people that have come to the hospital with malaria, how many people have come to deliver in the hospital. As long as you don't have the software but you have Excel, you can do all these things. Okay. Now spreadsheets are particularly good at providing answers to what if questions. Okay, the type of questions which occur very frequently in businesses. What if I increase the amount of the product by 10%? What do that? Okay, so for example, a builder or an architect may use spreadsheets to assist in the design of a storm drain. In this case, they would want to know the answer to the question, such as what if we change the diameter of the storm drain? How will that affect the rate of flow of the water? So if I create a formula that uses the diameter of a storm drain to determine how much water can flow through it, what if I change the diameter in the formula? What would be the results? That's just what it's talking about. Okay, so these are some of the things you can read on that. All right, now here are the different spreadsheet packages you can see online. We have Easy As is one of them. We have Super Calcs. Okay, we have Lotus 123, the Lotus 123. Okay, please keep this in memory. All right, Symphony, Quadruple. Okay, Framework IV, that's framework 6. Is that 4? Framework 4, yeah, not 6. Framework 4. Then Excel, there are more, but these are the ones. Okay, you can actually see very often. Now the term spreadsheet is often used to refer to the computer program itself, the Excel program. Okay, sometimes the term is used to refer to a sheet on which work is done. Okay, now some spreadsheet programs are they use the term worksheet. So in Excel we use what we call worksheet, okay, to refer to the sheet. Now when I come back to Excel and you check here, we have a sheet. This is a worksheet. This page we are looking at is a worksheet, but the whole Excel that we've opened is a workbook. So when we add another sheet, then this particular workbook has how many sheets? 2 sheets. Okay, so this is a worksheet. worksheet 2 and then worksheet 1. Okay, all right. Now to start Excel, I don't think I have to teach you guys how to start Excel, right? Who is here that cannot start Excel on their own? Please let me know so that I know how to teach it, so that you never have to learn it again. Who is here that can open Excel? Feel free. All right, so everyone can open Excel, right? So to open Excel, the simplest way is to come here. Okay, this is an old version of Windows. This is the Microsoft Windows stuff. Some people still use that, but when you have it this way, when you come here, this search button, you can search for Excel there. Okay, now if you have Excel, you can see Excel here. Can you see Excel? Then you can click on it to open it. Another way is to click on the Windows key, the icon here. Then you can search for Excel here. Okay, so you can just search what? Excel, then it will come. Another way to do that is to what? Press the Windows key, and then you get the pop-up. This one is appearing on my screen at the other side. Okay, then you can type what? Excel, and then you hit enter. So if you click on this, and then Excel isn't appearing on your screen, then you type what? Excel. Then you select Excel, and that will open Excel for you. Now when you open Excel by default, you will see something like this. Start on a blank screen or use a template. In my case, I'm starting from a what? A blank screen. Okay, I'm starting from a blank screen. All right. There's certain stuff I don't really want to show. I should have cleared it. Shit. All right. Okay, great. So when you do that, then you can open Excel. So I'm not going to go on that. You can read through that, and then you can do that. Now here is Excel. This is what you see. Now at the right hand corner, you will see this. Anytime you hover over it, it becomes red. That's the close button or quit button. Okay, then we have the maximize, and then the minimize. Okay, then whoever is logged in, your profile will be here. Then over here we have the save. This is a quick access toolbar. Okay, this part. So you have save, undo, redo. Then the workbook name. So if you click on this quick access toolbar, you can customize it and add more to it. Okay, so you can add spelling. You can add ascending, sort descending, open, new, quick print, print preview. You can add a lot to them. So let's say, let me expand this and then show you something. So these are the ones that are there. So let's say I want to add print preview to it. So I click on print preview, and then you can see print preview has been added to it. If I want to add another one like spelling, it also comes to it. So grammatical check. Okay, all right, then I can take that out and take the other guy too out. All right, I hope everyone is cool with this. Is there anyone that has a question to ask before I move to the next thing? Any questions? Any questions? All right, like I said, if you have a question, just raise your hand and ask. Okay, all right. Now the cell we already spoke about, which is the intersection of a row and a column. Now we have what we call the cell name box, which is this one. I already showed it. And then we have the formula bar. Now anything that is inside the active cell would appear in the formula bar. Okay, Sadia, could you please mute? Sadia, could you mute for us?
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, so if we decide to say, let's just use Sadia's name here. Oh, sorry, Sadia. Whenever we select a cell that has some values in there, then we will see those values in the cell name box. So if we write, let's say 21 here, you see that the 21 is appearing there. So anytime you select a cell that has some values, that would appear there. Now one thing you should know is that if you write a formula equal to sum, we've all seen this before, and then we pass in, let's say 12, 23, and then we close it, we are seeing what 35 here. But when we click on this, we will see we have some appearing here. That is why this is called the what formula bar. So whatever formula we have in here is what is appearing over there. But in the cell name, the cell box display, we are seeing the what the value itself. But once we click on it, we see the formula in there. So that is the formula bar, and that's what we are seeing up here. We can edit the formula in the formula bar. Let's say we decide to add 1 to this, so that will make it 36. The moment we press enter, we see that it affects whatever was inside our cell. All right, great. So let's move on. Now, anytime you want to edit things that are inside the cell, right, the cell that you want to edit, you double click on the cell. So for example, if you get back here, it's not all right. So if we want to change this name, right, if we click on it once and start typing, we'll be able to replace whatever is inside it. Okay. Another way is that if we want to activate it, says that we have the cursor in it, so we have the name already there. You want to activate it so that you have the cursor in it, then you do what? You double click. Now when you double click, you'll be able to place the cursor where you want. That is the difference. If you just click on it and start typing, you will replace whatever is inside it. Okay, so let's just say we want to edit some part of it, but we've decided to what? Write this. So we start typing. If we start typing, maybe we wanted to write the full name, right? If we start typing, we say then it has cleaned it, and that's not what we want to do, right? So if we want to change something specific in there, then we need to double click to insert the insertion point. Then we can decide where to put it before we do our correction. So we can move it here, then we can clear this and maybe say Sidrat, right? Then press enter. All right, so that's the difference between just selecting it and typing and then double clicking. So when you double click the cell, use the arrow key to move the insertion point to where you want to, and then you can make the necessary changes to it. Then you can press enter to add the changes, or press escape to leave the content unchanged. Okay, all right. Now you can type as many as 255 characters. Put this in mind. You can type as many as 255 characters in a cell. If a cell is not wide enough, all the characters may not be displayed in the cell to the right content or the data. Okay, so when we come back to this guy, let me go back. What they are saying is that if I decide to start typing, let's say we say Sidrat Abu Bakar or something. Let's say Abu Bakar, right? And I press enter. This is what we are seeing. So now let me say I enter something else here. Let me say Muhammad Ali, right? And I press enter. You can see that the characters here are not showing for the Abu Bakar. They are being hidden. Okay. Now when this happens, you will not be seeing them. When you want to see them, there are different ways to go about that. So they are saying it will not display if the cell is not of the right size to contain the data. Okay. So with the general format, the text automatically aligns to the left side of the cell, and the numbers are aligned to the right hand side. Okay, all right. So you can see the numbers being aligned to the right hand side over here. So if we come back to our Excel, let's keep running away. If I expand this and then I drag it a little bit, you see that the name is to the to which side? The right? Then the numbers are to the to the left. That's one thing you should know. So numbers are automatically aligned to the left, and characters or letters are aligned to the to the right. Okay, all right. Now if you want to store a number as a character, then you need to put it in quotes. Okay, now there are different ways. You can use the apostrophe, or you can just put the whole thing in quotes. Now if you want to put the whole thing in quotes, what you will do is this. I want to make this number become an alphabet, right? Become what? A letter, so that it can be aligned to the left. So when I want to do something like that, so let's say I just put the 36 here and hit enter. It's aligned to the what? To the what? To the left. Now I want to align it to the what? To the right. So I can select it, put an apostrophe in front of it. Then it's automatically aligned to the what? The right. Now if I want to align it in the other way, I can also have the same 36. Still align to the left. But if I want to align it to the right, I can say equal to quotes. Then I move to the end of it and I add another quote and I press enter. And it automatically what? Saved as what? A text. Okay. So this is of type what? Text. So if you go to data, I think I should be able to see that here. If I expand this, let me see if I can show you something. So here. Good. So type here is not showing as number, it's showing as generic. But if I click on this formula and we go to select type over here, this is a number. Now if we select type on this and we try to change it to number, look at what it's saying here. Let's see what it's saying. So the number in this cell is formatted to appear as text or what? It's preceded with it's preceded by what? An alphabet, apostrophe. So in this case, this is not a number. Okay, so if we go to change it to a number, let's see what they will say. Is it still a number? It's not a number, right? It's still aligned to the left. It's showing us danger. The number in this cell has been what? Formatted to what? Appear what? As a character. Okay, all right. So let's change it back to general. Great. Now let's get back to our Excel. Okay. All right. So that's how you can save a number as what? A text. So remember, texts are automatically aligned to the left and numbers are automatically aligned to the what? To the right. Is that clear? Texts are aligned to the what? Left and numbers are aligned to the what? To the right. Okay. Please keep that in mind. Texts are automatically aligned to the left and numbers to the right. All right. Great. Okay. In order to display the number as what? Numbers. Yeah. Joy. Yeah, Joy. You can unmute and talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you said numbers aligned to the left and characters aligned to the right, and I've written it. So now it said numbers aligned to the right and characters aligned to the left. So I don't know which one is which.
Oh, okay. So characters are aligned to the left and numbers are aligned to the right. Okay. Probably skipped me. All right.
Yeah, correctly. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's great. Thanks for drawing my attention to that. So that those that had probably also jotted it would make the corrections. Okay. Now, in order to display a number that exceeds a cell width, okay, sometimes you will see these scientific notations. For example, this. Or you will see hash representing what? The number. So let's see if we can demonstrate that. Let's just type a very big number here and hit enter. So automatically Excel would convert it to a standard notation. This is what we are getting. Our standard notation. It keeps what? Giving us what? Standard notation. Now when we get to this point, it can't even write the standard notation anymore. So it gives us this. So anytime you have numbers and you see this, just know that the numbers can't fit inside what? The cell. That's why we are seeing that. But if we come here to expand this with by double clicking on it, then we can get this. If we decide to keep moving it, we will still be having what? That over there, because the number is too big. It doesn't want to what? Store the number, so it's running it to what? the nearest what significant what figures that it can run into. Okay, all right. Okay. Now numbers are what constant values. Sometimes they might contain what characters, and then the characters that numbers can contain are these. Please keep this to memory. So a number in Excel can contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. It can be minus, it can have minus in it, but the minus usually lead, it will be in front. We have plus, we can have division to represent what? You remember, fractions. Then the point to show what? Decimals. Then capital E for scientific notation. Then E here, which is used for what? Exponents. Okay. Now when a number is entered, Excel stores the number, stores both the number and then the number type in the cell, and formats or what the appearance that the number will take. Okay, in which the number what should be what displayed. So for example, if you format the number you want it to be in 2 decimal places, then you get 2 decimal places. So for example, if we go to Excel, oh, sorry guys, I don't know what has happened. So let's say we store a number like this, right? This is a number, but if we want to store this number in 2 decimal places, we can actually come here and change it to what number. Now you can see that it has 2 decimal places, but let's say we want to store it as what raised to the power of what, maybe 2 or something. Now when you come here, you can see increase decimal points, decrease decimal points. If you want to increase the decimal point so that it can be 3 decimal places, then you can what? Click on this. Then the decimal point increases. You click on it again, it increases. If you want to decrease it, you click, it decreases. You click, it decreases. You click, it decreases. So depending on what you want, you can decide what on the formatting, and that's the end of it. So you can't actually remove any other what decimal place, right? Now if you want it to be what accounting, then you can select accounting. If you want it to be what scientific, you can select scientific. Then you can have something like this. If you want it to be any of these types, these are the types that we have for numbers and what other characters. So we have general, we have text, we have fraction, we have percentage, we have time, and we've already spoken about time before, but we'll talk about it later in the session. Okay. All right. So let's take this guy up. All right. So the initial Excel entries to establish how what the numbers should be what formatted. Okay. So as part of the digits from 0 to 9, none of the other characters can what appear more than what once. Please, if you see any number example and then they are telling you that you have 1.1.1, it's not a number in Excel. So aside these particular digits from the 1 to the 0, okay, no other character here that can be part of the numbers in Excel should appear more than once. So if you see minus appearing twice with a number, then it's what? Not a number. Okay. If you see plus appear more than twice in a number, then it's not a number. If you see division, same. If you see full stop, same. So what it means is that, for example, this particular one where we have 2.4e, 4e2, it's not a number because these are appearing more than once. Okay. In the same way, we are getting 2.3.3, which also indicates that it's not what a number. All right. Okay. Who's there? You who? Hey, Aggie. Ah, Charlie. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm just doing some section. You're gonna catch you guys, yeah? You get out. My guys before. Simbi. No, Simbi. That's Simbi. Yeah, no problem. Alright. Ah. If you give me our chop. Alright. Okay. So I hope everyone gets that part. Is there anyone that doesn't understand this particular part? Please, if you don't understand, let me know. If you don't understand this part, let me know. Everyone understands that. Okay. All right. Great. Now to enter a fraction, we can write this in Excel. Okay, so whenever you want to write a fraction in Excel, okay, whenever you want to write a fraction in Excel, you write the value, then you can write the fraction part. Now this is what we call improper fraction. So anytime you want to write something as a fraction in Excel, you come, let's say here, then you say what, 7. Then if you enter this is not a fraction, this is a number. Now if you want to make this a fraction, now whenever you want to store a fraction in Excel, after typing, let's say we want to store, let me use the pen to show what I want to do right now. Just a new one. All right, don't save. Okay, so we know that a fraction is what we have, what, numerator over what, denominator, right? Then we can have an improper fraction where we have what, the whole number part. Then we have the what, numerator over what, the denominator. Now if you have something like this and you want to store it as a fraction, you want to store it so that it will appear as a fraction in Excel, if we use the slash, we will get what, division taking place. But we don't want to do division, we want to store the fraction itself. Now if you want to store a fraction like this where we have whole number and then what, the numerator over the denominator. So let's say, for example, if you want to store a number like 5, 2 over what, 3, right? In Excel, what you will do is that you write the 5, then you leave space, then you write what, 2/3. If you want to store, let's say 1 over 2, which would usually go to a 0.5, but you want to store the 1 over 2 itself as a fraction, then you say what, space, you write 0 space 1 over what, 2. That's 1 comma this way 2. Then you leave space. Then in that case you get what, 1 over 2. So we are going to show this in Excel. Okay, so let's go back to Excel. In here, let's say we want to store, I kept this on the screen, that's why it's doing that. Let's say we want to store 1 over 2. If we just write 1 comma 2 and then we press enter, we are getting this date. That's not what we want. We want to what, store what, 1 over 2, the fraction. Rose, please can you mute a little? Okay, all right. So if we want to store the fraction itself, then we will say what, 0 space 1/2, this way. Now when we hit enter, we get the fraction itself. So that's how we store a fraction. Now if you click on it, you can see we have what, 0.5 in the formula bar. All right. Now if we want to store the one we had, the 5 over 3, in that case if we come to write, let's write 5 over 3 here, 5 3 over what, let's keep, if we write it like this, 5 over 3 like this, over what, 3 3 over 5 this way, then we'll get something like this, which is what, actually not what, giving us what we want. So let's say we want to what, get a fraction. So if we want to store it as a fraction, we leave space here. Then when we do this, we click on this, then you can see the fraction over there. I hope that's clear. Who doesn't understand? If you don't understand, please let me know. Who doesn't understand? So that is how we can store what, a fraction. Okay, all right. Is there anyone that doesn't understand? Okay, great. Now we can enter dates in Excel. Okay, now what you should know is that date starts from what, the 20th century. That's 1st January 1900. Okay, So date calculation starts from that. I've explained this in class a couple of times. Is there anyone here that doesn't understand how the date something works? If you don't understand it, just raise your hand. Else, okay. Okay. At least there's one person, so I'll explain it. Alright. Now we are saying that the date in Excel, let's just read what is here so that we can see. Excel recognizes dates and time types in what? Most common what? Ways. When you type a date or a time, Excel converts your date entry to a serial number. This enables Excel to do date and time calculations. So if you enter a date, the date will be converted to what? A number. And then this will enable Excel to do what? Date and time calculations by using what? The serial number. Now the first serial number, if we put in 1 as a date, is going to correspond to what? 1st January 1900. So let's go back to Excel. So 1st January 1900, let's convert this cell, this particular part, to date so that we can use that to explain. So where is date? Date. Now if I enter 1 here, okay, and I press enter, what can you see here? 1900. Now from 1900 to date, today to today, okay, the number of days we've been alive, or the number of days that have been there till today, is the date calculation that will be given to us today. So if we come here and write today's date is what? 8th of what? So let's say 11 comma, shouldn't have gone there, it should be here. Alright, so 11 comma 08 comma 2025. This is what? The date. Now if I convert this date to a number, let's convert it to number. This is the number of days since 1900, 1st January 1900 till today. This is the number of days. If I convert this guy to number, I'll get what? 1. So the number of days that exists between the two is simply me subtracting this from this. So let's do this. Let's try to guess someone's birthday. Who wants to us to guess your birthday? Just give us your birth, the year, only the year and then the month. We don't want the day, so that no one will come and bully you. Just give us the year and then the month. Okay, yeah, Joy. So that we approximately find your age. Yeah, Joy, you can give us. I can see your hand is up.
2004.
2004, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Joy was born July 2004. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, that's 7th month, right? So let's just say she was born on maybe 22nd of what? That day. So July 07, comma 22nd 2024. 2004. I said 2024. 2004, right? Now if we change this to day, a number, then we get what? Did I select that? I didn't write it well. What am I? Why am I putting this thing? Okay. Alright. So this is it. This is the number of days before 1900. Okay. So now we want to get her age. Now we say that if she was born today, what Excel will do is that from today, if Excel wants to get the date today, Excel will add the number of days to this. So we want to do an approximate of what Joy's birthday, her age. So we will say what? Let's get whatever value we have here. Okay. Let's just do something quick. You guys already know these things. Then we subtract this cell from it. This will be the number of days that Joy has been alive so far. And we know that how many days make a year? How many days make a year? How many days make a year? 365.